inspired to write these words. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. You know the rest. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you. I'll help you carry on. It won't be long till I'm going to need somebody to lean on. Words to live by. And it's a lead into what we're going to talk about today on today's Live with Elgin, Subway Surfer Bolling, your creative caricature marketing consultant. Lean on me. Now, you know from listening to past broadcasts, I'm all for, can't think of the words, I'm having a senior moment, excuse me. I'm all for entrepreneurship, especially doing all things caricature. And as I've said for the last couple of broadcasts, being a caricature artist is an excellent way to make money and make money fast. But it will come to a point where it'll get difficult to actually do this independently. And you're going to need someone to lean on. And I can't think of anyone more suited for this than agents, agents of entertainment companies. And I'm going to tell you all about why they're necessary, how to treat them, and how to find them. You're going to need an agent, and here's why. Okay, you're doing your caricature job, and you're getting jobs. You're booking clients. You're handing out your flyers. You put up your, you're mentioning it in your social media, whatever social media platforms you're on. You're mentioning that, and jobs are coming in. You're getting jobs through word of mouth, but it's only it's gonna come a matter of time, when you're going to exhaust all of your resources because, well, it's natural. You're only one human being. You can only do and be in one place at a time, and you can't know everybody. And it just gets hard. Some days you just don't feel like campaigning. You don't feel like grinding, trying to get another job. You get tired and you get frustrated when leads don't pan out. And when you do that, well, since you're an independent, you begin to lose money. And you stop doing this thing that we all like to do, like eating and drinking and having a place to live. So you're going to need somebody to lean on, and it is an agent. Agents are an invaluable aid to the caricature business. And that's because, well, an agent can be where you can't be. When you're home sleeping, the agent is chasing down the leads. The agent is looking for the jobs and if you're a new caricature artist, it's really kind of difficult to get the prestigious, high-paying corporate jobs because, well, nobody knows you. You're Joe Rockhead. Nobody ever heard of you unless they watched the Flintstones. So since nobody knows you, how are you going to get these nice, high-paying jobs? You have to go on somebody else's reputation, and that reputation falls on the strong shoulders of your entertainment agent. Another reason why entertainment agents are important is because they've been in the business a long time, much longer than you have if you are just starting. They know all the shortcuts. They have dealt with how can I put this word? Lousy clients, deadbeat clients. They've dealt with them and they know how to get that money out of them and lean on them. Okay? So if it comes to paying up, agents kind of are the way to go because they do all of the dirty stuff that can become very messy for you. I've had jobs where, I kid you not, I remember this one job that I had in Brooklyn. First of all, it was in a scary neighborhood, okay? But I went, I needed the money. I wasn't going to discriminate. And after the party, well, during the party, I began to notice that the host, who I usually pick up my money from when I get there, according to my contract that I gave them. That's a good idea, by the way. In your contract, you list payment due upon arrival at the event. Now I would do that. I'm digressing a little bit, but I had that as a policy in my contract because sometimes the host, honestly, does other things. They're greeting guests. Sometimes they have an emergency that they have to step out for a minute or step out for the entire party. And it creates, not getting paid, creates a sense of anxiety in the artist. That would be me. So what I usually do is let's take care of all of this business stuff at the beginning where when everybody's in a good mood and when you're here. But I noticed at this particular party, they weren't here and I kept looking for him. And so at the end of the party, I finally cornered them by some luck. And they're telling me, well, I'm giving you this check, but don't cash it until next week, Thursday at 2 o'clock. And I've got this from my aunt. Yeah. Agents don't deal with that kind of nonsense as far as finances are concerned. So that's another reason, a top reason, I think, for getting an agent. Another good reason is their reach. I didn't know, and they didn't tell me, and I understand why. My agents would get me the most fantastic jobs. Let me tell you one. I had a lady who had rented out Yankee Stadium. Yankee Stadium in New York City. She was so filthy rich. The whole stadium. And I was there because this woman, she wanted the best of the best for her son. And I was one of the best of the best in the caricature industry at that time, in New York City particularly. Because of my agent, I got that job. There was no way in the world on my own, campaigning on my own, putting stuff on my social media site, handing out flyers, making cold calls. There was no way I was going to get a call or find one of the most richest women in New York City to get a spot drawing at her son's bar mitzvah at Yankee Stadium. This kid actually had the rabbi on home plate giving the vows and everything. It was fantastic. Never would have happened without my agent. An agent is able to get you those jobs that are prestigious. Now, how much do agents cost? Well, I don't know what it is now, but when I was actively doing this, they cost nothing. There was no upfront money that you had to pay them to be on their staff because the jobs they found for you would actually pay their salary. You guys, when you're dealing with an agent, you make a deal. Let's say you want $100 an hour with a 3 hour minimum. Well, the agent says, okay, I can do that. And so they book the party for you. Now, the agents will be getting as much or even a little more, probably more on the little more side that clients have to pay them so that they can pay you. It's the rule. Don't get upset because you negotiated a deal for $100 an hour at a 3 hour minimum and your agent to book you is getting $200 from the client. It's not his fault. In fact, he deserves it because he is the one or she is the one that found you. If you can agree to get $100 an hour or even $75 per hour, that's what you agree to. And the agent gets you to a job. And I keep reiterating this. These are jobs that save you the time, blood, sweat, and tears of looking for it yourself. And oftentimes they are prestigious jobs. And that's just one of the most prestigious jobs that I've had in New York City just from working with an agent. Uh, how do you find these agents? Okay, that's easy too. In fact, it's easier now in this technological age, and we have a. Why am I why am I slurring? I don't know. I guess I'm excited about this. It's much easier in this technological age to get an agent than it's ever been. You simply go to Professor Google and type in entertainment agencies in New York City. That's it. Entertainment companies in New York City. In fact, to even be more specific, go to Chat GPT and said, find me entertainment agencies that employ caricature artists in New York City or Kansas City or New Orleans or California or wherever you live. You make it as specific as you need, and Chat GPT will give you the information. It'll just give it to you. Now, the agents that I worked with when I was coming up was I mentioned it in an earlier broadcast, having a party in Brooklyn, New York, with Larry Youngstein. But I also worked with the Nose Caricature Company with Tad Barney. That was out of the state. I also worked with About Faces Caricature Company, also out of state. And it's a good idea to hook up with these agencies, particularly the out of state ones. Okay? It's a good idea to hook up with them because they also will get you those prestigious jobs. And, I can't say enough about my agents. But the one thing that you have to remember when working for agents, and this is a rule, don't screw your agent. And this is what happens. Let's say I'm at the party at Yankee Stadium. A lot of important people there with deep pockets. And one of them says, hey, I'd like to book you for my party. And you say, sure. Okay. And then you gave them a flyer. You give them your phone number. Yeah, I live in 99 Mockingbird Lane. You may get that job. And it may cost you, or rather, you can get that job and it'll pay you a lot of money. But in the long run, you're going to lose because I don't know how it happens, but word will get back to your client. Rather, word will get back. I messed up my dramatic pause there. Let me start again. Word will get back to your agent. Happens. The caricature community is a very small community, okay? And stuff happens. Not to mention, it's just bad karma to do that because you are there at that event, at that job, getting paid all of that money. You're there because of the agent, because of them reaching out, finding the client, negotiating the price, booking the job. And so what you should do instead, and what you ought to do, is give anyone at the party the address and the phone number, and if you have them, and I recommend you do, the card of your agent. Now, what you can do is you can put your name on the back of the card so that when they ask for you again, they ask for you specifically. You can do that. Don't see anything wrong with that. But don't screw your agent. Word gets around, and other agents talk to other agents, and soon you'll find yourself grinding the pavement by yourself without an agent. Okay, I explained already how much it costs. Anywhere you can get an agent anywhere from working for $75 per hour, $100 per hour, 150. Okay, so negotiate the price with the agent, or better yet, ask the agent, how much do you pay caricature artists to work for you? Okay, and you can work out something there. So I just can't say enough about getting an agent. Again, don't screw them around. Don't do an end run around them. Hand out their information, not yours. And I mean, I've worked with caricature artists and I've seen the opposite happen, and it really is disgraceful when that happens. You don't live, you don't win in the wrong one, in the long run. Now, you have to audition like a performer for these agents. And when I was doing it, you had to send samples. That's what I did to the caricature company with Tad Barney and also with About Faces. I did one step better. There was a caricature convention. I met these people. I'm a firm believer in face to face. Got to do face to face. I did a face to face with Ted Barney. I did a face to face with Larry Youngstein of having a party, and you should be doing a face to face, if possible, with the person who you'd like to work for. If it's an out of state agent, perhaps you can do a Zoom type of situation, a FaceTime type of situation. That is great because in my day, they didn't have that. And I would suggest you fully take advantage of that. I'm going to end this live with some interesting stories that I've gotten from agents. One in particular. Okay, I my agent gave me the job to go to this very prestigious. It was prestigious, yet notorious at the same time. That's the only way I got to describe it. Part of Brooklyn, to this to do a party at this catering hall. And I was thrilled to go there because I had heard about this catering hall and it was prestigious and it was guaranteed to pay a lot of money. And so I asked one of my friends who lived in the area, could he pick me up from this place, from this catering hall, because, excuse me, because things were ending kind of late. He said, sure. And then he, when he got the address from me, he said, did you know that this place is one of the mafia's legitimate businesses that you're going to? And I said, what? He said, yeah, you're going to be drawing mafiosos. And I got a little nervous of that, and I had to pull myself together because I said, well, just because it's a quote-unquote mafia party doesn't mean that they like the party, and so I got to the party, and of course, I'm the only black person there. I'm the only one there. And I step into the party, and you have a bunch of guys at a table. They're all wearing tuxedos, and as soon as I opened the door, it was like all the music stopped and everybody turned. I kid you not, this happened. It seemed like the music stopped, all the air got sucked out of the room, and everybody turned around simultaneously to look at me. All the guys in the bar, all the guys at the bar, and they're all wearing tuxedos, and they're not smiling when they turn around. So yeah, what do you want? I said, I'm the caricature artist. And they said, oh, yeah, we expect to be all smiles all around, okay? And so the guy ushers me, one of the guys, they usher me into the catering hall, and they set me up and everything. And then the guy who hired me, he comes out of the catering hall. And I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine in another room where people can come into me and just get drawn. I'm fine with that because it's less intimidating. So he comes into me and he gets real close to me. He says, yeah, thanks for coming. Listen, I would prefer if you would draw in the room in there, where all the people are. And I said, well, the lighting is good out here and I'm all set up and they can come out here when they want to. And this is just a better situation. And he leans in real close to me and says, I prefer if yous come in here. And I said, coming right away, sir. And so I'm coming into now another room where all of the guests are. And it's a lot of noise. People are having fun, listening to music, dancing. There is a bunch of guys sitting at one table, not smiling for the entire party. Yeah, and so I start to loosen up. I mean, after all, these are just people. I'm going by stereotypes I've seen in movies like Goodfellas and everything, and so I'm having a good time now. And then I'm drawing this guy, and I kid you not, his friend comes up behind me, looks at his friend and says, huh. This is what he sounds like. Huh. Draw him with a machine gun in his hand. And everybody starts laughing, except the artist. And so now I'm drawing and I'm shaking and I'm drawing and everything. And I calm down some more. And somehow, some way, I get through the party. And I'm glad. Let me tell you, the mob does pay. Not only did I get the money, but I got the best tips ever. These guys try to out tip each other, and they don't have to tip. So everybody would, and I love it when I get tipped because it means that people love what I'm doing, and they hand over the money to you. Here's a little something for you, and so this at the end of the party, and I'm getting ready to leave, and I'm glad I survived. And I kid you not, I kid you. I know it sounds like I'm making this up. All of a sudden, there's a crowd of guys, and it parts like the Red Sea, just parts. And here comes this little old man. He's got a cane, and he's got two guys around him, and some girls. And he says to me, "What? What? You leaving now?" And I said, no, sir, I'm not leaving. I am not leaving right now. And I sat right back down. And this guy, he waited patiently for his picture. He's got the bodyguards around him. He's got the girl around him. And nobody is saying anything. And I'm just drawing. And at this point, I'm not drawing humorous caricatures like I had been drawing. I sat down, I looked at this old man, and I drew the most outstanding photorealistic portrait that I ever drew in my life. And I slowly handed it to him with trembling hands. And he looks at it, and he looks at it, and he looks at it. Then he smiles and says something to the guy in Italian. Now there's smiles for everyone around. Tells me I did good. He hands me a tip, and I hightail it out of there because my friend has shown up. And as I got in his car, I'm telling him the story, what happened. He's laughing. And the next day, I hightail it back to the agent. And I said to him angrily, "Why in the world did you put me in a mafia party? Do you know how nerve-wracking that was?" And he says to me with a straight face, "What? You think that's your first mafia party?" This is Elgin, Subway Surfer Bolling, your creative caricature marketing consultant.